Okay, that's now the TT seats just sitting into the Corrado.
Hey guys, welcome back. In this video we install Audi TT seats into the Corrado. How hard can it be?
So, looks pretty well with the black interior and the back seats. They all look pretty good. I'm happy with that. I love the stitching, just even in the lines just across here. It looks really well. But yeah, we have to make it actually sit in because I don't think I'm going to pass any road certificate test with it flying around like that. So yeah, let's do something about that. So after sitting on the shelf for about the last 5 years, this is my Audi TT seats. I got them I think for 50 quid, so like they were super cheap. They've been sitting on the shelf doing nothing, so I decided, right, how hard is it to fit Audi TT seats from a Mark 1 Audi TT into a Corrado? Okay, the first job is to flip these seats upside down. Okay, here we have the Mark 1 Audi TT seats now upside down. There should be a rail just here and a rail over here, which will allow the seats to slide forwards and backwards. But unfortunately, as you can see, my seats don't have any rails because the previous owner, he kept the rails but he got rid of the seats, so that's why I got the seats so cheap. So what we're going to do is make up our own rails, and for this project what I want is to be able to put them straight into the Corrado, take them back out, maybe put them into a Mark 1 or a Mark 2 or even a second Corrado, so that the seats are kind of like interchangeable, where if I had kept the or even gotten the Audi TT Mark 1 rails, it'd be literally built just for that one car, and I don't think I'd be able to swap seats or even put the seats into something else. And if I didn't like the project or didn't like the seats afterwards, I'd be kind of stuck with it. So this way I'm going to be able to change them in and out, which I haven't seen done before. So let's give this a go. Okay, so what I did was I got a set of Vento seats, flipped them upside down, gutted everything off them, and now using the rails, I'm going to use them to fit into the Corrado. But of course, being it from a Vento, which is a Mark 3 or Mark 3 Jetta, this rail here was way out, so using the heat, I bent it back in, so it is square now. Two of them are now square, and it'll fit into any Mark 1 or Mark 2. So that's including a Corrado, which is basically a Mark 2. So the next thing is, which I didn't know at the time until I started working this project, on the TT seats where you sit, there's two big springs. There's one spring in there, and there's a second spring on this side, and maybe I'm not. Yeah, so you can see that it'll actually go up and down. So when you're driving in an actual TT, it's a very smooth ride because the seat is actually taking some of the bounce as well. So I wanted to keep that feature because I think if I got rid of it, as you'd bottom out, your ass would basically be bottoming into this bar here, which I didn't really want. So looking at it, where would it hit? So I end up having to cut a big chunk just out of here and clean out all of this, which would allow this bar here to fit in and to let it slide up and down. So there's now, there you go. So there's now a gap in there, which kind of worked, kind of didn't work. The problem is, because this seat is going to be moving, really you're just going to be bottoming out on it anyway. So what I ended up doing was, obviously that's going to be hopefully welded there, which would mean then if I cut it here, re-weld it back here, obviously cut this bar as well and shorten it by that much, this is now in empty real estate just here. Nothing can hit off it, and I'm never going to be sliding the seats so far forward that I'd need all this extra room here anyway, because I'm going to be sliding the seat from here to about here. So that's perfect. That'll definitely miss. It won't interfere with anything. So then when we do the up and down like this, it won't hit anything. So that's perfect. So the next place where it was hitting was the bottom of this V just here. So I ended up having to take a chunk out of it, and that fixed a lot of problems. So it wasn't actually hitting here anymore. It's great. Where's the next place? Now it's hitting for the seat to move. So my plan was originally to weld it up here, weld it here on those two tabs which are still attached to the TT. So weld both of them together. So that's the front now attached. And get two standoffs from here to here, which actually lifts this up a little bit on either side, and then it would allow the seat to move like this. Well, obviously this would be floating, so the place that it would hit is unfortunately here. So the next solution I had was either cut a chunk out of each of these. There's only 4 going across, or cut this off here and pull that back to there, re-weld the bar across here where there's naturally a little channel anyway, so that would be pulled back to here. Just extend this bar with just a piece of metal in here, and it would do all the same thing, and it would just clear. So I had the choice of either one or the other. So what we're going to do before I do all of this is just going to install this into the car and see how it looks. So here we are in the car. This is the frame now installed in the car, and obviously I would have this pin pushed back in, but it's easier just to leave it out for the moment. But that moves like that, it'll line up everything, so that is correct. The shorting of the pin or the shaft here, that is correct, so everything is okay. This bar here was out here because it was a Mark III. It's been heated and bent back in, so that's now for Mark II or Mark 1, so that's now correct. So the frame is correct. What we're going to do is slide it all the way up. I have it marked there anyway, which is this one here. There. So in the seating position, that's where I would normally sit. I'm 5'5" or 5'6", and my legs can still hit the pedals, and there's no problem there. I'm underneath the steering wheel, and everything is kind of correct for that seating position. So that's it there. If my girlfriend wants to drive the car, which probably won't happen, but let's not chance fate, we can move it one more forward if we want to, and if a really tall person gets in, we can move it all the way back as well. So there's a range of movement there in it. So what we're going to do is leave it in my position, which is this one here. We're going to drop the seat in, sit on top of this bar here, see where it all lines up. I can't move the seat too far forward or too far back because the lock here for the seat belts has to line up as well. So let's give that a go and see how we get on. Okay, and we have the seat now in, so you can see the lock for the seat belt is in the right position. It's pretty much underneath the steering wheel, and I'm now going to get it in if I can carefully. And that's me now in the car. So there we go. Clutch pedal all the way in. I can tap the brake and the accelerator. That's me now at the steering wheel in front of it. Feels all good, like, you know, there's nothing wrong. So just taking the headrest off just makes it easier just to get in and out of the car. But yeah, like, that's the position. It's rocking there a little bit just because it's not welded or anything. But yeah, I can feel all the pedals, everything feels very smooth. So when you're putting in seats from one car into another car, it's kind of hard and easy to know whether you've done it right or wrong. So what I mean by that is, you don't know what angle to put the seat. So say, like, for where your bottom is to where your knees are, there should be an angle. So it's probably not going to be flat. It's probably not going to be sloped forward or positive rake. You want a little bit of negative rake, so it's going to be where your knees are going to be higher than your bum, and you want it at a nice angle where you're not like cocked up, like you're actually like in a dentist chair lying all the way back, but then you don't want to be totally flat either. So we're going to look at what do other cars have, what angles do they have. We'll check it off the other Corrado and see if we are right with this angle to how we're feeling. Although where I'm sitting in the car right now, when you be driving, it does feel very correct. Like, I'd be quite happy with this position, to be honest. Like, probably maybe a little bit straighter, just where I'm just sitting, just have to weld it in the correct position where it's facing forward. You don't want to be like in a Beetle where you're just slightly offset. So you do want to be like pretty much in a straight line. But yeah, I like the position. Like, feels okay. We do have to put standoffs in the back of this seat, so my bum will be actually up a little bit higher than my knees again. So we'll be like, instead of having loads of negative rake, we'll have a little bit less negative rake. But that's only to allow the seats to move up and down. So we're going to give that a go. We're going to take a few measurements off the other cars and see how does this seat compare to other seats. Okay, so we have the angle, we checked the angles. They're kind of pretty much the same. On the Corrado they were 20 degrees, somewhere between 17 and 20 degrees. This is between 15 and 17, so like we're a little bit shy, but when you're sitting on the seat it'll move as well, so we can't get a completely correct measurement. So the angles are pretty much the same, they're not too far out. But as you can see, my head is getting very close to the roof. So in the other Corrado, a full fist I should be able to put underneath, and I'm just about able to put a fist going this direction, so flat. You can't put it as a barrel. And the other car did have it. Like when I move my head forward, I know like you're not going to be doing like aerobics or anything in the car, but like you still want to be somewhat correct. And I do feel I am up a little bit high. It does feel like I'm in a tractor, or like up high, quite high in the car compared to the rest of the car. And I'm not fully happy with it, to be honest. I think I would like to go lower, and even at this measurement here, where you know there is room. I'm 5'5". If someone tall sat in this car, their head be up here, and I just don't want that. Not that there's going to be loads of people driving the car, but I still want it to be correct. And the other thing is, I just feel there should be just more of a gap. And also we have to put the standoff still on the seat, just for the suspension to work in the seat. So that means then I'll be even higher. So I don't think this is going to work. So I think this is a good place to end the video. So if you like this video and you want to see more of how I actually get the damn TT seats into the Corrado, give it a thumbs up, subscribe over there, comment down below what you think of the project. As always guys, thanks for watching, see you later. Okay, new plan, we got a set of, I don't know, Jetta or Mark II something seats.